That whining noise is a worn idler or idlers on the serpentine belt, also known as the auxiliary or even fan belt, on the 4.4 litre V8 diesel engine of a Land Rover L405. This video is how to replace these idlers and that belt. I hope it's of use to you. The cost as of January 2024 in parts, which were largely OEM parts, about £200, and the time around about 2 hours. Begin by removing the 3 plastic rivets which hold down the small panel at the right hand side of the car as you look at the car head on. And then you can remove the centre panel. There's nothing holding that in place once the right hand panel has been removed. Just push it straight back and remove it. There are 2 air inlet hoses coming from the filters on the left and the right hand side. Remove the hose clips and pull them away from the hose union. I took the right hand one, which is quite long, and held it back with a piece of garden twine out of the way. Then remove the 2 13mm bolts which hold the hose union in place. Squeeze and withdraw quite easily the electrical connector from the left hand side of the throttle body cap that you can see there, the large round black piece. Similarly, squeeze the hose clamp and remove the hose on the right hand side of the throttle body cap. Use a flat bladed screwdriver to completely remove the metal retaining ring round about the throttle body cap. Make sure it's right out of the way. Then you can remove the cap and the hose and the union all as one unit. This gives you a much clearer view of where we're going to be working. Now, just to get orientation here, that's the 65mm idler wheel. That's the tensioner. You're going to use 22mm socket to remove that. And that's the 80mm idler wheel to the right hand side. Now is a good time to remove the under tray from the vehicle, as it's very likely you're going to drop bolts or even spanners during this piece of work. The front section is plastic. Turn the plastic rivets 90 degrees and then pull the section entirely straight towards the front of the vehicle, and then drop the 11 bolts. They are 15mm. They are done up to about 60 Newton meters, and you can drop the fairly light under tray and gain access to the bottom of the vehicle when you drop bolts. Now, back inside the bonnet on the left hand side, there's a slightly awkward small 8mm bolt to get to. It holds a U-bend in the air conditioning pipe. You should be able to find it's very well worthwhile removing at this stage, as it gives you a lot of flexibility and access. For a 22mm socket, possibly with a small extension bar and possibly quite a long handled ratchet or wrench, because you're going to twist the entire tensioner unit to the right, releasing the tension in the belt, allowing you to take the belt off all of the pulleys. I popped the caps off the idler wheels using a hook, as you can see, and of course, needless to say, dropped some down in the front of the vehicle. You can then undo the various idler bolts. With the belt removed, it's possible to spin by your finger all 4 of the idler wheels you can see here. If they spin very, very easily, they should have some resistance. If they spin easily or they grind or make a noise, then clearly they're worn. Many people would decide to replace them in any case, having got this far within the engine. Now, unless you're leaving it in place, I'd suggest you begin by removing the 65mm idler wheel with a 13mm socket. You can then remove the 80mm idler wheel with a 16mm socket. The entire tensioner unit's held in by 2 small 10mm bolts, which are quite low torque, 25 Newton meters, so they are easy to take out carefully and take away the full tensioner unit. Now, the 4th wheel is slightly trickier. It's referred to as a generator jockey wheel by Land Rover, and as far as I can find, it doesn't have a unique part number. Rather, it's seen as an integral part of a complete unit, which is both the mount and the idler wheel, which is extremely expensive. Now, in close inspection, I've discovered an OEM manufacturer which makes exactly the right wheel, and I've put the part number for that there, allowing you a much more cost-effective replacement. Okay, so now it's a very simple case of refitting the new tensioner, the new jockey wheels, making sure you torque them up to precisely the right value, not forgetting to put on the plastic caps. The generator jockey wheel is slightly trickier. You need to retain the lipped washer from the original idler wheel, place that against the lipped side of the new idler wheel, as you can see there. I needed to put an M10 washer in between the two to ensure the correct spacing and alignment, and then fit it against the engine in the manner shown. After that, it's simply a question of reassembling in the reverse order and, of course, testing.